bearing with us there. And we're going to continue on through the depths of the internet because that last "Am I the asshole here?" It's going to stick with me for a little bit. It was
Yeah,
some real shit. I'm transported back to high school, and it's a little weird to think
right?
about it.
I know,
I don't know
totally.
how I feel about it. I'm having some feelings. It's a little weird.
Same.
Not bad ones, but it's just weird, man. It's weird. No, thank you. Don't want to be back in high school. I have enough dreams about it. Don't do it again.
You cannot pay me enough, I'm telling you.
Nope.
It
Never
would have
ever.
it would have to be an
Impossible.
an absurd amount that I don't believe in as a number. That's how much it would have to
Yeah,
be.
or that I would feel morally wrong
Right. Yeah.
taking without
Yeah.
then going and trying to do something good in the world with it. Absolutely. Yeah. So, no, not going to be a thing. But let's
Well,
see
good
what
luck, little
happens
buddy.
next because it could
Oh.
get worse.
Okay. Well, here we are. I don't know yet, but here's the headline. It says AITA for being super clumsy and causing chaos at home and out with friends and family.
What, this is very general, but
I
okay.
know. Causing
I'm interested.
chaos. I
Chaos. I
mean,
want to know what the chaos is. All right.
yeah,
All right.
let's
I'm
find
in.
out. I'm a totally clumsy person. Like, super clumsy. At home, I trip over my cat, spill stuff on the couch, and knock over plants. My family is always laughing about how I can't even walk straight without bumping into something. Outside is worse. I walk into poles, trip on sidewalks, and drop stuff at the grocery store. Friends are
Whoa.
like, expect chaos when you're around, but they laugh it off and stick around. Last week, I tripped at a friend's party and spilled food all over the table. Everyone was okay with it. They were laughing. But now my family is saying I need to, quote, work on my condition, unquote. AITA for being this clumsy and causing these accidents all the time. Accidents is also in quotes. Hmm.
What? What? Wow. I mean, immediate gut reaction, like, no, you're not. I think maybe you have like vertigo or something. I mean, I'm no doctor, but
Right?
this sounds like there's a spatial awareness issue or inner ear issue or something else.
Possibly.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I mean, this is interesting because I freely admit that I am very precise about many of my movements and also not precise on a number of them. And as a drummer, I cannot tell you how many times I probably at least, I don't know, gave myself a small fracture in my fingers over many years of learning from
Sure.
not being precise or something like that. So, but like tripping over things and like running into poles and shit, there's like something
Yeah.
else going on here. I don't think you're an asshole. I think maybe you need a doctor to help you out.
Some assistance. Yeah. I
Just
was
a little
just
bit.
literally checking my arms because I know distinctly that I have a recent bruise from like, I have this habit of elbowing doorways. I don't
Oh,
mean
yeah.
to, obviously,
Yeah.
but sometimes I just like cut it too close and it's like ding, but it's not the same as like cow. Thank you, baby. As running over stop signs in my car or something like that, right? Like
Right.
you had said, I
Exactly.
I am capable of like precision in my movements. But sometimes if I'm just like walking from one room to the next, if there's a cat to dodge, like I'll catch a chair. I mean, I'll catch a door sill. But
Right. Absolutely. I mean,
it
also welcome
sounds
to having cats, OP. I
yeah,
don't know what to tell you, but
seriously.
I mean, my boy cat Abby tries to very literally kill me multiple times a day by just running in front of me and being like, "All right, here I am,"
Oh,
and I'm
same
like, "Oh
here.
shit,
Yeah.
okay."
Yep.
This is just cats, so that part's not on you, and you're not an asshole for that. That's
No.
cats who are, they're sort of assholes. That's their game. They're chaotic neutral. That's what cats do,
Yeah.
and that doesn't make you an asshole though. So, and I mean, sounds to me like there was probably like a bit of shame put on the OP here for whatever went down recently that instigated putting this onto this glorious subreddit and that's unfortunate because I feel like somebody should be like, hey, like, are you good? Like, what's
Yeah.
up with
How
this?
are your insides feeling?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you dizzy a lot?
Right.
Do you see floaters? Like, because
Hey,
again,
I see floaters, man. I
all the
listen.
time,
I
right?
get it. I to my
Constantly.
My eyeballs are an entire amusement park.
Or
Just
do you just need glasses?
mm-hmm.
Maybe
Mm-hmm.
the OP just needs glasses. Listen, as someone who didn't have any corrective anything on my eyeballs until I was 25, going on 26, because
Wow.
yeah, and like because I didn't have enough money, and also like I when I had health insurance at that point in my life, again going back into history here, my
Blank number of
insurance
years ago.
blank number of years ago, my insurance sucked so bad, even though I worked for a nameless corporation who I'm not going to talk about, who ran movie theaters. My insurance was so bad that I couldn't even, there was no such thing as going to the eye doctor. And I don't know, I also just figured I didn't need to. And I distinctly remember the first time that I went to the eye doctor and put on glasses, prescription glasses, and went, holy shit.
Yep.
What is going on?
Yep.
I have been driving a car like this whole time. What the
Right?
hell
No,
is
it's
going
crazy.
on? It's
Yeah.
if someone doesn't say something to you, like sometimes you literally don't know. Like it's just one of those things that, and if it's not something that, like, I don't know, someone in your family, when you were younger was like, let's get your eyes checked out, which my family didn't do,
Right?
then so maybe the OP just needs glasses. Go to maybe the eye doctor is a good place to. Eye
That's a
doctors
good
are
place to
crazy, by the
start.
way. They can figure out a lot of shit for you just by looking in your eyeballs. They
I
can
just
they can
I
tell
just
you a
went to
lot.
the eye doctor. I just went to the eye
That's
doctor.
right. You did just experience the glory that is the eye doctor.
I
Number
mean,
one,
there's
number
a
two,
reason why I could
number
like
three,
sit
number
in
two.
front of like three lights right now and not be phased or play pinball because I've been having bright lights shined into my eyeballs since I was 8 years old. And my dad saw it. He was the one that was like, boop, you're, needing some assistance in this area. And
Yes.
I mean, I've had my right eyeball like absolutely lasered for purposes of like thinning retina issues. Like it can be an ordeal, but being able to see really does affect obviously a number of areas of your life. Like I remember
Yeah.
being able to see like the blackboard for the first time in third grade after I got glasses from like the back row, and I was like tripping because I used to walk up to the blackboard to like either write things down or whatever,
Sure.
and
Right.
then the intervention happened and I got my little assistance here ever since. And yeah, maybe there's that. What worries me is that for some reason this poster feels um attacked or otherwise
Right.
um
I
I
mean,
don't know,
shamed for sure.
yeah, or villainized or something for something
Yes.
that's going on to them by their family. That's the part that worries me.
Yeah, that's messed
where
up.
where they simultaneously quote the family as saying that this person needs to quote work on my coordination, and that is like abrasive enough in poster's mind to have it also come out as being accused of being an asshole. Obviously
Right.
not
Yeah.
being the most coordinated person in the world. And at first I said work on my condition, but it says work on my coordination. See, I'm waiting for my new glasses. I'm getting
Well,
progressives, y'all. Like this, that's how old I am.
yeah, we're here, everybody. Let me tell you. I won't be able to wear contacts probably for a super
Mhm.
long time coming in the future here, because it's also same. I can't even look at a phone screen without moving it, far away, close, and then being like, "Oh, okay, there. Now I can great,
Now I can
lovely."
yeah,
Gonna
get
end up
halfway
being that
guess.
frickin' person that uses the mega sized text on my phone and everything. But you know what? Welcome to it, everybody.
Yeah,
This is how
here we are.
happens
This
to
is
all
how
of
it
us.
works.
But yeah, like that's the. I mean, it's interesting that you read it as condition, because the it sounds like a condition, not
Right,
necessarily coordination. I don't think you're going to
right.
fix this by taking, like yoga
Ballet
classes or
classes,
something.
right,
Right.
right.
Like something else is happening and it doesn't sound fun, and it sounds like people are giving you shit for it, and that's not cool. So I definitely say you're not the asshole here.
No,
Other
I
people are
don't.
kind of virgin on being assholes, though. I mean, they're not probably being assholes about it like on purpose, but it's kind of a
Right.
shitty way of handling that, instead again of being like, "Hey, like, are you good? Like, what's happening. Somebody should be like, are you good? Because again, sometimes you just don't know. Like, I don't even remember how I even knew that I necessarily needed glasses, except that I just like, I think I ended up getting insurance that would cover everything. I was like, holy crap, insurance will do this, and was like, I guess I'll go to the eye doctor because you might as well. First time ever being to an eye doctor, also, by the way, when I
That's
was like
crazy.
25. Yeah.
Wow.
And being like, oh, so like I don't see so good. Not horribly, not horribly, to use
Yeah.
that's the wrong word, but like not so
Oh, I see horribly without my glasses. Trust me.
right.
Like, it's
Like not
all
so poorly
general
that I
shape.
couldn't see. Yeah, but not great. And
Right.
and sometimes you just don't know, man. So like
Oh,
somebody should,
yeah.
if nobody's gonna say it, then we're gonna say it to you, OP. I hope they somehow find out that they're on this podcast and they go, oh, you know what? That's true. Somebody should have asked me that.
Yeah.
So Ruth and Brian are asking you that. Are
Yeah.
you good?
Please, like, yeah, are you all right? And if you're not, it's better to know the sooner than the later. And like my
Absolutely.
catastrophic brain has a number of other possible explanations, ranging from something like vertigo to ranging to swinging all the way across the spectrum to things like MS, right? So
Right,
there are
sure. Yeah.
definitely incredibly debilitating conditions that start off with things like this. I know this because one of my mom's best friends uh, died of MS, and it was after a
Oh, no.
lifelong, battle with it. And it started when she was a teenager. And my mom told me this one story, and I'll never forget it because everybody would compliment her on looking like so dainty. Like, her hand was always like in this very like delicate position, but it also came with, glasses slipping out of her hand, like drinking glasses slipping out of her
Sure,
hand, like
sure.
stuff like that. So I'm just gonna put that out there. I am no medical professional.
No,
I am giving
we are
completely
not
like
doctors here, everyone.
anecdotal stories based on anecdotal stories. But as a mother, and as a young person who watched my own mother lose a friend to the likes of MS, it's worth noting that while we all have like a normal like range of error, right? Like this error margin for doing things perfectly, um it sounds like your family's worried about you and cannot express it in ways that
Yeah,
either come off as caring or that you will take as anything other than an attack.
yeah,
In that case, that means that there's a bunch of other dynamics there at work, right? And it sounds like you catch a lot of shit for being clumsy, even from the people that are cool and are, understanding and accommodating to whatever this condition is. You know, Speaking of people who should be checking up on you and making sure that you're going to the doctor to make sure that it's not something super
right.
nuts.
Yeah,
Like, people laughing it off and just moving on with their lives is not always a sign of like a caring friend group.
right. Absolutely.
In fact, it may be a very direct sign of people that don't give that much of a fuck about you
That
personally
sort
and
of are
are
assholes. Or
yeah,
at the
so
very
like
least are missing the point, which is that the person that they
thank
know
you.
might have a, something
It,
something going on, which could be a simple thing, man. Then your life
it
could be
really
like
could be.
changed.
Yeah,
Put on
absolutely.
glasses and believe me, you'd be like, holy shit, I can
I
see
go,
leaves on
hi. Yeah.
trees. Wow, that's
Oh, the leaves on the trees is one of my favorites when I
yeah,
get
the
new
leaves on the
glasses, for
trees.
sure.
That's the biggest one. That was the one for me. I looked at a tree and was like, wow, it's not just a big green blob. That's weird. I
Yeah.
mean, from a distance for me, but I was like, it's not, wow, this is,
No,
and it
this is
like literally
beautiful.
changes your perspective. Like it
Mhm.
actually changes, your perspective on life. And this would probably help you too, because it does not sound fun. As someone
It's an
who
increase in
whacks their
quality of life.
toe on something a lot, and you'll know this, everyone, as you get older, toe pain ends up being the worst pain.
Hmm.
And someone who does that just a little bit, I can only imagine ramming into a pole or something.
Right,
So
which brings me to my next point. It sounds like there is a measurable risk to your own well-being due to this
absolutely. Yeah.
situation, and that all of its own, I would ask for it to be something that makes you consider looking into it,
Yeah.
you know?
Just
Because
just checking in.
like tripping on the sidewalk, sure, once in a while, I mean, I guess you might look goofy. I hate to fall. So anytime I trip, really put on a show of trying to like not land on my ass, which is almost always like
Yeah.
less cool looking than just landing on my ass. But it happens. I get it. But there are plenty of situations even within what you just described where great harm could come to your own body, and
Absolutely.
that's not cool, man.
I'm
Like,
not really worried about the snacks and stuff that you knocked over at
right, it's not about
the
that.
party.
And
You
if your
can get
friends
more
are gracious,
snacks.
right. And if your friends are gracious enough to like move on with the party and like, continue to include you and be cool, like that's great and all, but it sounds to me like they're leaving this on your doorstep. And it sounds to me like your family and whatever tone they're saying it in, because again, like it's very difficult to judge from another blessedly short AITA post.
Yeah, thank you.
Um,
OP.
I it sounds like they're at least worried about it, even if it sounds like criticism. No, you're
Yeah,
not an asshole for being clumsy. Um,
absolutely not.
but we are all assholes when we don't take our health seriously. Another birthday PSA
There
for
you go.
everyone.
Don't be an asshole to
To
yourself.
yourself, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, again, some of us are way more clumsy than others. I definitely fall in. If there's two buckets, I'm in the clumsy bucket for sure. I try to do things to make me less clumsy. Like I love playing softball. I love playing pinball. I like playing darts. Kind of like eye hand coordinate
Sure.
video games, obviously of all sorts. Um, but if I kept tripping into tables and poles, I like kept doing it over and over again, because it's one thing to be clumsy within the bucket, and then there's what it sounds like is something like a little bit
Yeah, then there's the same thing happening
next
multiple
level.
times over and
Right,
over
like
again.
over and
Yeah.
over and over and over again. So yeah, I would say you might be an asshole for not taking it seriously enough to look after your health. No, but for having this situation happening, like, the body will wage wars against itself. No, you are not an asshole for that happening. That shit
No.
just happens to us. Do
No.
I want to be? I used to call myself blind as a bat, and one of my first ophthalmologists when I was like 16 was shining bright lights in the back of my eyeballs. He's like, "You're not blind as a bat." He's like, "You're just out of focus." And that's helped me a
There you
lot,
go.
right? You know what I mean?
That's a
It,
core memory that's good.
yeah, because it really put a lot of things into perspective too. I
Literally so.
I'm not particularly happy that I'm so out of focus, but it's, I, I I have the privilege of being able to see stuff, period.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, and
Yeah.
and do things like with that um ability of perception, whereas other people don't. Um and it's not for better or for worse, it's just what it is. It's just so
Absolutely.
anyway,
Yeah.
it might be fixable, it might not. Um but don't put yourself in a position of accidentally harming yourself, possibly beyond repair. Um, and if your parents are the assholes here, if your family is really that concerned about it, um, don't don't leave them in a position concerned in a way to say it like so rudely as you perceived it, may have perceived it. Don't leave them with the opportunity to say "I told you so."
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's right.
You
I
know,
don't, I don't like giving anybody the opportunity to ever say I told
no,
you so to me. No, thank
live out
you.
live out of spite if necessary, but
That's right.
in order to do that, you have to make sure you're not like accidentally falling in the middle of the road and getting hit by a bus or something. Like, please,
Accurate.
you
Yeah,
know?
most definitely. So you
I would
do
say.
win an NTA shirt if you
Yeah.
want it.
Yeah.
OP. If you hear this, you win that shirt, and we'll also maybe see if we can help you navigate your provider directory to, I don't know, find an eye doctor.
It's doable. It's
Again, we're
very
not
doable.
doctors, but we could play them on TV. We're
We
also
could.
not necessarily assholes, but we could play them on TV.
Mhm.
But
Oh,
speaking of
that's one of my
assholes,
favorite rules. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's all I have for today.
I love it. Thank you, Ruth, as
It's my
always.
birthday, so I will give you all the present of not having to listen to me natter on about anybody else that may or may not be an asshole. I know that you have a present for me, though, in this next segment, one of my
Oh,
favorites.
I
So
do.
please,
I do
by all
indeed.
means,
Yes. Yes, most
regale us.
definitely. This
Regale us
is
with stories.
this is one that I thought about for a little while, and I was just kind of waiting until something came up that I would be able to make use of in this segment that we are calling "Dumb Criminals" (parentheses fuck around and find out). And so I was just kind of waiting, for something to come up, and
Oh boy.
blessedly, I realized that something had happened that was not on my radar for about a year, but I'm very glad
Ooh.
that it did happen, because these are those situations where I love it when I see the dumb criminals being called out on their dumb criminality. So today on Dumb Criminals, I'm going to be talking about someone that I think a lot of us
Oh
probably
no.
know this dumb criminal.
Like
His
personally or
Oh no, luckily not personally. If I did know this person, I would have
Oh
slapped him in
yes.
the face long time
Yes.
ago.
Let's
Yeah.
talk about this asshole.
Yeah,
Go
so this
on.
this guy's one of the dumbest criminals by all means, and I think if anybody has been listening here, you're probably going to notice that Dumb Criminals is primarily focusing on, let's just say, horrible people with too much money. I'm not going to be talking here about the dumb the kind of stuff that usually I would expect to see somebody making a segment called "Dumb Criminals" talking about, which is, here's a guy who tried to steal $100 from a McDonald's. I'm not doing that, everybody. We don't do that here because capitalism sucks.
Nope.
But speaking of taking real advantage of capitalism, man, I'm talking about today is Martin Shkreli. And this guy, if I mean, you probably know his name. He was dubbed the Pharma Bro, and Martin Shkreli, well, I mean, he's a real piece of work in general. Originally born in Brooklyn, managed to just be one of those people who, just like materializes money. There are these people in this world, I don't really know how they do it, but they sort of just materialize
They're
money and
called
then
crooks.
position. That's true. They're called dumb criminals, right? And this guy managed to do this many years ago, if nobody knows, and you can go and look him up, but he managed to do this by basically jacking up the price of life-saving drugs by 5,000%, and just being a total general asshole.
Did it
And
get sold? Okay, sorry. Sorry.
well,
Go
that's
ahead.
exactly the part of
Go
this that
ahead.
really
Oh, I'm
stuck in my
so
craw
excited.
long
I'm
ago.
so excited about this.
This
Go
is
on.
this is all really pretty good, yeah. So one of the things that made me very sad a long time ago was that uh, the Wu-Tang Clan recorded an album called Once Upon a Time in Shaolin. And when they recorded this record, they said very specifically that this was not actually going to be released in any way. It was going to be a one-off album that they were going to sell, and someone would own it, and it would be only theirs. And I've looked into this, and the person who purchased it had to sign essentially a contract upon purchasing it that said they would not go about disseminating it around the world through digital forms and file sharing and etc. So if you got this album, you very literally had something that probably most of the world was never going to hear. And I always thought this is one of the coolest things that could ever really be done in music in general, and leave it to Wu-Tang to come up with something like this. I mean, the RZA is one of my favorite musicians ever, because the man is not only a great musician as the RZA, Bobby Digital, the man who basically masterminded so much of the Wu-Tang Clan, but also as a business person, he is someone who really knows his shit. And unfortunately, this record, Once Upon a Time in Shaolin, was purchased by the Pharma Bro himself, Martin Shkreli. And he bought it for, I believe, around $4 million. No, I'm sorry, reported $2 million. I'm pulling up an article right now from NPR It's a 31 track album, and he bought it at an auction in 2015 for a reported $2 million. I remember hearing about this and being like, this is the guy who ended up with this record. Like, that is some absolute bullshit. And
Well, he was like acting like peak douchebag.
oh,
back then.
100%. He was
Like,
peak douchebag. I mean, he
He
was
was like over like what's the like English phrase for it? Like around the bend, like from himself, basically. Like, I
oh
feel
yeah,
like,
absolutely.
I don't know
Right.
if that's the way to describe it, but
He was doing what many of these rich ass dumb criminals end up doing, which is, you know, moving further and further away from being a human being to just being like some other kind of weird meat puppet existing with too much money to know what reality is, you know, and then also being able to buy great pieces of art as a result. And I remember hearing that this was the guy that ended up with this album, and I was like, that seems just wrong to me. Now, the Wu-Tang Clan, having collected the check from this guy, and yes, delivering the album, you can go out, you can look it up. There are pictures of it, and that'll kind of dovetail into a little bit of the rest of this little segment right here. But there are pictures of it. He did have to sign the contract, etc., with the Wu-Tang Clan. Which, imagine signing a contract with the Wu-Tang Clan. By the way, I mean,
no,
you
I'd
know,
shit my pants, man.
yeah, I mean, like, you don't listen. We all know they ain't nothing to fuck with, and I'm not just trying to be like, "How's it going, fellow kids?" Like, I love the fucking Wu-Tang Clan, okay? And so he did sign the contract. He did get the album, and he, upon finding out that it was him who purchased it, RZA did say that the group decided to give a significant portion of the proceeds to charity, which was great. And I actually distinctly remember Ghostface Killah being on a live stream of some kind. I think it was on YouTube around the time that this all happened, where he was calling Shkreli out directly and saying, like, what's up with making these drugs so expensive, you asshole? So, like, the Wu-Tang Clan did take a stand against this guy, which was really awesome. They
Yeah.
also took his money, so props to that. I mean, who the fuck cares?
Smart
Suck it.
criminals. So yeah, and for context, this is after he had purchased the patent to insulin, if I remember correctly.
Yes, that's right.
And the price of insulin went from already really annoying to
Absolutely absurd.
obscenely
Yeah.
rage-inducing, terrifyingly high numbers for
Yes.
people. And
100%.
the friends
People
and
who
family
literally
of those-
needed it to live.
Well,
I mean,
and the rest of us who have people like that in our lives, like
Exactly.
this
Right.
was not just stressful for, you know, whatever your description or thought is of a person who needs
Right.
insulin, but
Right.
it affected all of us in one way or another.
Absolutely.
And I mean, I have friends who use insulin, and
Yeah.
at that
Yeah.
time we were not the age we are now, and it was very stressful to think about my folks needing my people, my friends, needing something that they can no longer access because you are choosing a path of actually contributing to society. It was an insanely distressing time. It
Yeah,
really
it
made
was a
feel it made me feel like I was going crazy back then.
yeah, it was a chaotic evil move, you know, when
And
you come
now
right
this is
down
like
to it.
10 years later. So if you
Yeah.
and just as a side note, real quick, it's 10 years later. I'm still here. People like this always lose, because what happens is that if they don't trip on that sidewalk because they're walking backwards, making fun of everyone walking behind them, and then they turn around and smash their teeth in on the sidewalk
Yes.
after they trip,
Definitely.
somebody out here in the world is ready to do it for them.
Absolutely. And when
Those
you,
folks don't win. I know it seems like it. I
It
know
seems like they
sometimes
do.
things like
yeah, it's
look
true.
and feel bleak, but trust me, if
That's
we-
true.
Here we are, because that motherfucker ended up in jail after. Sorry for the spoiler alert. Go
That
ahead,
is right,
Brian.
everybody. That is right. So he did end up basically, luckily, he did have to hand over once upon a time in Shaolin when he was convicted of securities fraud and sentenced to 7 years in prison. He had to hand it over.
Sweet moment. Such a
Right.
sweet moment.
And the hilarious part about this is that he did have to hand over that album, as well as $7.4 million in forfeiture, in a forfeiture judgment. He did have to hand over that album to the United States government. So Once Upon a Time in Shaolin then went to the United States government. Now, I do know that later on there was a listening party slash exhibition at the Smithsonian of the album. But it was very closed, very difficult to get into. People were not allowed to bring in any form of recording device, phone, anything, right? So if you heard it, you were hearing it, and there was no way you were reproducing it. And this again, I think, just speaks to the brilliance of the Wu-Tang Clan. And honestly, anybody else could do this. Like, anybody could do this, by the way. You should totally do this. If you want to do this with music or anything else, you should have some fucking fun with it, because who knows, some asshole like this might end up buying it, take their money, and then figure out how to shut them down from the inside, because this guy did end up getting shut down. And so eventually, Once Upon a Time in Shaolin was sold to an anonymous buyer from the United States government. They ended up selling it, and no one knows who that is. The price of the sale was kept confidential. I'm sure the Wu-Tang Clan is able to find out, but no one really knows. So unfortunately, we'll never hear that record, which I am deeply saddened about, although maybe someday it'll happen. I know that there is a clause in the contract that they had to do with the Wu-Tang Clan being able to take the album back if they decided that they wanted to, and being able to just change the terms of the agreement, because they're the Wu-Tang Clan, so don't fuck with them, right? Maybe that'll happen someday down the road. But again, I was sort of waiting to see. Ruth is throwing up the woo right now, by the way, because respect. And I was just waiting to see, like, okay, what else is going to happen with this fucking guy? Because I know he's also not in prison anymore. He did lose a lot of money, but as we were saying, like, these assholes, they get popped, they somehow bounce back oftentimes, or other times they don't, etc. This guy did end up bouncing back, but I realized that I was waiting for something, and then when going on looking out to research for this segment again, I was like, I want to talk about Shkreli, but what's going on? Turns out a year ago, the Supreme Court rejected an appeal from him where he was basically working to get out of having to return more money that he stole from numerous people, and etc.
Him.
That's right. He appealed in order to return $64.6 million in profits that he and his former company reaped. And I'm reading here from a article by apnews.com. Ordered to return $64.6 million in profits that his company reaped after monopolizing the market for the medications and drastically increasing its price. His lawyers argued that the money went to his company rather than him personally. Okay, sure. Way to go, idiots.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
Good job, dumbasses. And so as it ended up being, he ended up not winning this appeal, which was great. And even better, not only was the order upheld, and this is a year ago, by the way, this article is from October 7th, 2024. So whatever, time is meaningless. I caught on eventually. But he ended up not only having to deal with the order that was put upon him anyway, this also included a lifetime ban on him working in the pharmaceutical industry ever again.
Thank everything that's holy.
That's right. That is right. And that was...
When was this appeal denied?
This was in October of 2024. So just about a year ago at the making of this podcast.
Sorry, I missed that detail. Cool.
Turns out that is also when he was ordered to forfeit the Wu-Tang Clan's Once Upon a Time in Shaolin. And so to add a little bit of insult to this asshole's injury, which he absolutely deserved,
happened?
That's when it all went down. So not only did he end up having to return a massive amount of money, he also basically had nearly everything taken by the United States government, including his copy of the Wu-Tang Clan's Once Upon a Time in Shaolin. Because you know what? Here's the thing, man. If you disrespect not only human beings as much as this dumb criminal absolutely did, but you also disrespect art that much, you really don't deserve anything, man. Like, not at all. Because, by the way, that is, as this article is saying, the world's rarest musical album, which is pretty true. I mean, there's definitely other ones that are super duper rare out there, but this is pretty damn rare because no one is going to hear the thing, except this asshole ended up hearing it. And I did read some things about how he tweeted, I think at some point, about how he was going to make a copy of it and put it out on the internet or something. And I think RZA just shot his ass down and he was like, oh, Okay, so if anything, what we've learned from this, kids, is don't go about fucking up the price of life-saving drugs. In this case, it was called Daraprim, where it went from $13.50 per pill to $750 per pill. Okay, don't do that. Don't fuck with the Wu-Tang. That's all there is to it. This is why Martin Shkreli is my dumb criminal of the week right now. And there's a lot of other stuff about him out there. Obviously, you can dig this guy up. He's basically still trying to grind, still trying to get over everything that happened that was entirely just bullshit that he reaped and ended up sowing in the long run. But don't fuck with the Wu-Tang. That's all there is. That's all there is to it. That's all I'm going to say. And he is my dumb criminal of the week.
I'd say let's send him a t-shirt, but mostly what I want to do is take one from him and burn it. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I have so many
absolutely.
thoughts. I have
Yeah.
so many thoughts right now.
Yeah. Yeah. He's
The
really
universe-
bad.
Yeah, the
He's-
universe
he's
will
really
eventually balance itself out. What I've learned is that the universe has a huge capacity for good and or for evil.
It's true. It's true.
And if we're in the really, really giant, like widely accepted normal range, we're not going to see a lot of dramatic sort of like comeuppance on either side, right?
That's right. That's right.
Evil doesn't always win, good doesn't always win. It's always basically a mixed bag. But when you purposely wander into like the darkest cesspool and then smirk all the way to the bank about it, boy, there are some
Absolutely.
certain forces in this universe that will most certainly be annoyed on both sides. Let me go ahead and break this down. First of all, this album is effectively the first modern NFT, let's call it. That is the parlance of our times, right?
true.
This is an
It's true.
actual NFT. This is a
The Wu
non
saw it before anybody
fungible
else.
token because, duh, Wu-Tang Financials. So
Wu-Tang
funny.
Financials. Yep, that's right. That's
and
right.
I'm not a particularly huge fan of like blockchain anything. I thought NFTs were funny. I think that it's really even.
I mean,
more
they were
funny that
hilarious.
they're
It was a hilarious, stupid thing to
right.
see.
But here we are at the
happening.
Supreme Court level 10
Right.
years ago.
Right.
That not only did this guy owe cash money to the tune of shit that I'll never see. Plus,
And right, most people
he
never
had
will.
to relinquish ownership of something that even more people will never see.
Right. Exactly.
So that's really where I like the salt in the wound there for that. What
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of, and again, mixed bag, right? Excuse me, right in the middle, is that this had to go all the way to the U.S. government, to the point where the U.S. government became the transactor of this otherwise,
Right.
while incredibly elevated, also highly mundane art world transaction.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, because, I mean, art gets bought and sold all the time. And technically, there's plenty of painted works out there that only exist. There's only one in existence. This is not unheard of. It's a little bit of unheard of in the world of music, and definitely was 10 years ago at this point right now, really, for this kind of thing to be happening. I mean,
for sure, but
streaming music was coming up and etc. So it was a new thing, but
yeah. And as an instance, though, it wasn't, it's something that we could wrap our heads around, be like, wow, there's one in the vault. It's like a time capsule, right? From
right.
In high school or I can't even remember when I did the time capsule with my schoolmates.
Oh, absolutely. High school. Yeah.
Sounds about
that's
right.
a high school thing to the T.
Okay, cool.
Oh yeah. Very much so. Very much so.
But like, it's grokkable. We understand it. It's like, oh shit, that's cool. 31 tracks, dude. I don't know. I'm not gonna say on the record that I would sell my pinball machine to go to something like what happened at the Smithsonian, but it would cross my mind.
I would consider it. I am very, very extremely sad, and not like consistently, but if I think about it, I am very sad that I will never hear
who
this
doesn't
record just
want to hear it?
because the title alone sounds amazing. I mean, I am sure that this album is fucking awesome. And I am so glad that it is not in the hands of this asshat whose face I'm just going to show once more on my screen right now because we didn't really get to deal with that. But I'm just going to pull this. I mean, this guy, I'm sorry, but this guy looks exactly like what you expect somebody like this looks like, is really what it comes down to. I
That
remember when
picture stresses me out,
it's the
man.
worst. It's terrible. I mean, like this guy just overall just exudes douchebagginess and like was happy to be called the pharma bro. So you absolutely, my friend, deserve everything that you ended up getting and losing, by the way. You deserve that in every way. So bye-bye. You are my dumb criminal of the week, my friend, and I'm glad that if anything, somebody else has the record. Who the hell knows who it is? Maybe someday we'll find out, and the Wu will just decide to say, "Fuck." I have a theory that the Wu
They
Tang
just
Clan
bought it
will end up
back.
just, yeah, like that's kind of my theory, is that maybe they just end up doing that.
I would.
And
I would.
I would absolutely, and I also have a theory that eventually, someday, the Wu is going to just put it out there
Bring it out to the
and
people.
and just
Yeah.
give it to the people, because Wu Tang is for the family. Everybody, all right, just remember that.
I really
And
feel that we're, not playing chess with them sometimes. And
oh
I
no,
love this about people that we might end up calling whatever visionaries or prophets or that really smart girl in the corner that always says things that you're like, oh, why didn't I think of that? Or whatever we call them. We all see them, we all use them. Oracles is another fancy historical word for people that are just kind of looking around and just on their own level and being like, oh, yeah, I see that over there.
right?
That's interesting. How about if we just do that now? And everyone's like, look
Shit,
at
you're
that
right.
weirdo. And then
Okay,
all of a
yeah,
sudden the weirdo turns around and it's like, look at this pretty thing.
yep,
And everyone's like, oh shit.
yep.
Yeah, huh. That's the way.
That is the,
So
yeah, 100%.
I
Yeah,
like I am in for this roller coaster ride with them, and whatever they teach us, we're only better for it.
that's right.
And
That's true.
I hope, what's his name? I can never pronounce it. Shkreli.
Shkreli. I think I'm saying it the right way.
I hope that at some point in the very near future, he has to apply for a job that is going to give him enough to live paycheck to paycheck.
Yep,
And I'm not talking New York City penthouse paycheck to
that's right.
paycheck.
That's
I'm
right.
talking down the street from me in the triplex over
Yeah, there you
here.
go. Yep.
Just
Yep.
making sure that you work enough hours and you don't get sick often enough to be able to clear the 32 hours or 37 hours or 25 hours that they're going to give you because nobody hires full time anymore.
Yep.
And I
Yep.
hope that one day he starts to squint and he looks down at his insurance card and it somehow, even though he's whatever fucking years old he is, he realizes that he can't afford to go to the eye doctor.
Yep. That's right. That is
That's
right.
it.
Yep.
That's what I hope happens. Like, quite
That's
honestly, to this one individual person, wish no ill. I wish no death. I want
no.
him to
No.
just come over here
No.
and walk his smug, happy little ass to the Dollar General across the street and clock in for his shift.
That's right.
Is that
100%.
fair? Does that
Yeah.
sound fair to you?
I think that's absolutely fair, because agreed, I don't really wish death on people and
Sorry, he
etc.
makes me grumpy, bro. He
Oh
really.
no. He's real bad. That was why I was
Thank
reserving
you.
this one.
Thank you. I
I was
appreciate that.
I was waiting on this one. So happy birthday, Ruth. There you go. That's your dumb
I
criminal.
told you that all I wanted to do for my birthday was record, so thank you.
I knew I
And
had
that,
to have a
thank
good
you.
one.
Oh
So
man, no, that this feeds my
I
happy little soul now.
I
Thank
endeavor
you.
to please. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Well,
Aw.
so tell us then, in the outro here of our little bit, what's happening in the world of pinball. I know that you are on your way somewhere big soon, right?
I'm rolling out. I'm rolling out.
Roll
Yeah.
out.
I'm playing in the Royal Rumble up at Ground Control in Portland, Oregon on Sunday the 24th of August. So I leave here and then I go up there and hang out. First time in Portland. It's super exciting to be playing pinball for my first time in Portland. They're a big pinball town. I am loosely nervous.
Amazing.
I know that there's going to be a lot of really good players. The format, like of the tournament, the rules are something I've never played before. I'm on an 8-person team,
Wow.
and
Okay.
yeah. No, they don't. They do not fuck around up there. Their tournaments and leagues are like Jets and Sharks shit. Like they get jackets, Brian. They get
Nice.
jackets up there.
Legit. Okay, cool. That's cool.
So,
That's great.
I am loosely nervous. I'm super excited. I'm happy to see my friend. She's the one that invited me on her feral women team. So it's time to show up and show out. And then
Such a
after that,
great way of putting a team together of feral women. I love that.
hey, text me.
That's freaking awesome. Yeah, that's great.
And then I'll be there until the Tuesday after the tournament, and then I'll come home and move on into this brave new world of Year Redacted.
Yes, you're redacted. You're
Yeah,
redacted.
this is
If you can guess.
This is my birthday present.
Congrats.
This podcast is my birthday present. The last couple of weeks hanging out with everyone and everybody, all the Leos and the Virgos, like kind of got to hang out more than usual, which was really great. And then I don't know, new adventures, man.
Yeah,
New adventures.
I
We'll
love
see
it.
what else goes down. Attack from Mars is getting taken out of Sister, which bums me out. But it sounds like tomorrow night I get to play a game I've never called before called Trident. And I was gonna look it up before the podcast today, but maybe I'll just talk more about Trident after I play it.
Okay, yeah, I like this. I would
You know
love
what I'm
to
saying?
hear about that. Yeah, absolutely, because that is part of what I do enjoy about this segment is just learning about all of these things. It's, just
Oh, Trident is an old game,
shows
but
up for me.
one of our friends just refinished it like immaculately, and I mean, it looks real pretty. This
Oh,
person
okay.
has
Okay.
like all the skills and all the like sensibilities, and he loves pinball as much as we do, and he's been bringing old games back to life, and oh buddy, they're so beautiful. So
That's
Trident,
amazing. Okay.
maybe
Trident.
Trident for my birthday. Well, I'll let you know next week after I
Okay.
come back. I'll
All right.
try to remember back to this moment where I promised that I was going to remember anything that happened before Portland this week.
Yeah, there you
I'll
go.
try to
Yeah.
save that somewhere in there.
Well, if there's a bit of amnesia, then it's probably good. It means that the right things happened.
I'm old enough to start getting it,
Yeah, that's right. So everybody, you need to make sure and tune in next week to hear about Ruth's adventure here and about Trident, because that's why we have this little segment here at the end.
Aw.
Because the world of pinball deserves that light, as far as I'm concerned,
Listen,
and I like learning about it.
So many flashing, blinking lights, you'll forget about all the darkness, if only for a precious few
Yeah,
moments
there
at
you
a time.
go.
Like,
Forget about the Martin Shkreli's of the world.
Yeah. See, now I'm gonna have to go play some pinball for my birthday to forget about
Yeah.
him all over again. Because for the record, I did not even remember he still existed till you brought it up.
Yeah. No, I
So,
know. That's
time to go cleanse the palate with something that doesn't include such dumb assery.
That's right. That's also the final indignation that this man deserves. So suck on it, Pharma Bro. Idiot.
Cheers.
That's right. Cheers. Well, we don't have the album that we utilize. The one amazing track from is not necessarily extremely rare, but is one that you should end up purchasing, because
100%.
our theme song, we want to thank Great Fox for providing our theme song.
you.
The Point. The album is called Leftovers, and I do encourage you to go out and pick it up like you were buying your own copy of Once Upon a Time in Shaolin, and tell your friends that it's super rare and that they should also get one before it goes away. Not that it's going to. I'm not speaking for Great Fox here, but we're very grateful to Great Fox for providing our theme song.
Act like good art is always going away.
There you go. That's right, everybody.
It's worth experiencing enough to treat it as an exquisite rarity, regardless of what you like or why you like it.
Regardless of how rare it may be, treat it as such, and you'll probably enjoy it a little bit more. We encourage you to do so. And as always, you can get in touch with us at theartofmissingthepoint@gmail.com. And I'm serious, if you are one of the folks who's in any of our segments and you want a shirt, you got to hit us up, because I'm ready. I'm locked and loaded. I'll get you a shirt.
He
Get
is.
you
You
an
you
NTA. Get you. I
listen.
got you.
Brian's on it.
That's right. I will make this happen. So, email us at theartofmissingthepoint@gmail.com, or if you have ideas, insight, etc., join us on our Discord, which you can find on our website, theartofmissingthepoint.com. And of course, we always appreciate everyone who is listening in, and we do always very much appreciate you sharing this podcast and telling others about it and tuning in every week. We will be back next week with another episode of The Art of Missing the Point, where we will explore the question, are we missing the point? Are you missing the point? Or is the whole damn world missing the point? And my name is Brian.
This is Ruth.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Take care.
Bye.